All right, folks, thanks for joining us here for game number 2 of the Pittsburgh Penguins Elite taking on the Philadelphia Little Flyers. Pens in white again, Flyers in the black jerseys, all black with the orange numbers here. Pens were victorious 5-4 earlier this morning as we have game number 2 underway, 14:37 and counting. Blake Parrish comes in, first shot of the game, right pad save off of netminder number 29 as it's brought back high in the zone. Bingham Green's able to backhand this deeper, but it's quickly retrieved there by the Flyers elite number 56. Back to center, it's Riker Ferguson that has it. Goes over to his winger, Easton Borman. Borman tried to hit Bingham Green's, picked off there by number 12, Fusco. Intercepting that pass was centerman Riker Ferguson. Backhands it over everybody into the offensive zone. On to get to this puck now is Easton Borman. Pens change their D group behind the play as it goes off the stick of Wilson. As 13 tries to work around Stark now. Now finds the stick Easton Borman. Borman enters the zone, tries to hit Colt Davis. Colt Davis gets to that puck first. Attempts to sneak it through to Wilson. But unable to do so. Borman gets to that puck there again. Stops up above the dots. Thought about switching with Fritchie. Borman, long shot off the cage of the netminder 29. Pens get their second shot on goal here with 13:26 now to go in the opening frame of game number 2 of 3. As Connor Wilson winds it up, Brady Fritchie's going to join the attack here. He's going to lead the rush. Tries a slot pass. Doesn't connect. Flyers coming out 3-on-2 now as Colt Davis covering the backside. Yoakum's going to try Davis wide. Run through the slot, gets through everybody. Backhanded out of danger there by Grant Loya. Turnover here as the Pens are exiting the zone. So it's a dangerous moment there. As Yoakum is going to try Welch now. Welch is going to take Yoakum on and strip him the puck. As the Pens exit the zone there, it's going to be turned over again. Yoakum's going to send it deep. Switches with Loya. Loya's going to go to the corner. Welch in front of the net. Loya ties his man up on the wall. He's got 2 black jerseys as Fergie gets in there. Still battling on the wall here as it squirts free to Noah Welch. Welch is getting his head up. Goes up to Mason Fritchie. As Mason Fritchie tries to stick it away. Neutral zone play. Fritchie gets a stick around the midsection of 98, or correction, 98. As Brooksy Gaworski had 2 earlier this morning. Has the puck squared away from him. Little Flyers stay on side here. Drop past the 98. Player falls down. That's Ferguson. Coming out of that. Nice little seam pass there by the Little Flyers. Blocker save as it hops up dangerously. And it's retrieved by centerman Ferguson. Ferguson up to Gaworski. Gaworski over to Fritchie. Mason Fritchie loses the handle. As Connor Wilson separates his man from the puck. Unable to hold on to this puck, though. Bingham Green's on to help out. He had Fritchie at the point. Hangs on to this as well. Bingham Green dances run around one guy, 2 guys. Connor Wilson stops up. He's got net of ice at the point. Looking for an option. Dumps it behind the net. 77's going to swing this off the body of Fritchie. Covering backs Wilson. High in the zone. Still has this puck. Wilson's going to try and walk around here. Toe drag move. Loses the handle. Fritchie on to help out. Dumps it back down to Wilson. Backhanded behind the net here. We're 25. Blake Parrish bodies into a man. He gets that puck. Dumps it down deep again where Bingham Green goes to work to retrieve it. 77 for the Little Flyers. Has it behind the net. His head's up. Moves it back into the neutral zone. Fritchie moves it to his D partner, Noah Welch. Welch is going to try and hit Ferguson. Unable to do so. Welch still has this puck. Welch is now going to lead the rush. He's going to try and work around. He's going to dump it in deep. Welch is going to pinch down to get to this puck on his backhand. Dumps it below the goal line. Where Borman gets to it. Borman reverses back again. Yoakum works it around Colt Davis. And around Borman. Held in now by Nico Stark. Stark shoots it into the pants of Ferguson. As Welch is going to try to come over, and he's going to move it over to Nico Stark. Stark's got a flashing Riker Ferguson. Finds Ferguson. Chips it over one stick. Shot taken over the net. Penn's had several shots where they had opportunities in the first game. 43s now backhands it in, loose in the crease. Lawyer finds the garbage there, tries to swing at the Borman. Borman can't handle that puck as Fergie is going to dump it now deep into the Little Flyer zone as 74 now goes back to collect it. Lawyer retreats. He's being pressured by 12. 12 might get to this puck first and does. And it's into the midsection of Max Dragicic starting in net today. And game number 2, 29. Penguin netminder swallows it up. .9:32 now on the clock. Pens change up their personnel grouping. As Connor Wilson steps in for this draw, Flyers win it. Softly sent through the high slot as CJ Nenavisa tries a headman pass. Almost had Mason Fritchie just outside of his reach, or he would have been sprung there for an opportunity. So we're going to do it again. Icing call on PPE. This time will be to the left of netminder number 29, Max Dragicic. Face-off dropped here as the Pens try to get to this puck. Nenavisa seals his man off 93. Dumped behind the net where Brady Fritchie picks it up. He reverses it to his D partner, Nenavisa. Nenavisa's got a couple guys up ahead. He's going to try and hit them. This time it looks like he'll connect. Mason Fritchie's got Gaworski going to the net with him. Goes to Gaworski off the skate as Connor Wilson backhands it in on net. Right pad save there by number 29. Little Flyers going to try and exit the zone with some speed. As Welch is going to come over, but books Gaworski. I believe it's going to be a run up here for an interference or body contact call. Body contact checking call as 45 is going to sit down for a minute 30 as the Pens are going to have to go to work here on the PK. Had to kill off a few in game number 1 this morning. And that PK unit out tasked with killing this is Blake Paris, Nico Stark, Noah Welch, and Bingham Green. It's going to be Stark now that gets this puck off the draw. Finds Blake Paris, deflects off of his stick. It's under a Flyer's body. Does not come out of the zone, though, as it's in the skates of Stark. As Stark works hard to stick with it, throws it back to the point man. Yoakum now has it. Goes off the blade of Paris, off the wall to 13 of the Little Flyers. Hits a couple of guys here. Pens may have a 2-on-1 here, developing shorthanded. As Bingham Green enters the zone, he tries to find Blake Paris just out of his handle. As we have 51 now on the penalty to Brooksy Gaworski. Number 13 for the Little Flyers enters the zone. Got to 85, deflects off a stick Nenavisa. Nenavisa chips it off the end wall as Loya is sealed off by number 43 as he's in a battle with him. 86 walks out of the dot. Deflects to 13. 13 loses the handle as he's being approached by Loya. Able to shake away from him momentarily. He's behind Dragicic now. Centering pass attempt goes to the stick of Blake Paris as this forward group's been on here for a minute 15. As 43 is going to enter back into the zone. Bumps out to the left side of Loya. 243 is battling now. He circles back. He's got a man in the slot. He's tied up, though, by Nenavisa nicely. And that's going to be it. We're back to 5-on-5 action. They got Gaworski coming out of the box. Paris is going to enter the zone. He's trying to dance around a couple of guys. As it's headman now to 43. Back to 5-on-5 action. As it's reversed back into the neutral zone. Davis tried to chip it around one man. We got a Little Flyers player down right now as he's in some discomfort along the near wall. So we'll stop here as we check the injury. Hopefully he's all right. All right, so it's good to see 43 back up as he makes his way to the bench. 7 minutes to go. Now 7 minutes even in the first period. Shots on the board showing Little Flyers have 4. Pens lead have 3, so we're going to reset here at center ice. Pens were able to successfully kill off that penalty call to Brooks Gaworski. So a 5-on-5 action now as Riker Ferguson walks down the left wall. Leaves it for Borman. Borman tried to center to Davis in front of the net. Falls off of his stick, though. As the Little Flyers now collect it, they get back to center. As 98's going to try Nico Stark. Stark seals him off on the wall. Got 3 Pens battling here. A couple guys fall down off the chest now of Brady Fritchie. As he eats that shot, gets some stick taps from the bench. Cole Davis now transitions this. The offense 3-on-2 develops. He's got Fergie going with him. Davis tried to go one-on-one with Yoakum. Yoakum separates Davis from the puck. 6:08 to go in the first period now. As 77 now collects it. He backhands it. High stick on the puck, though, as Borman is going to touch this up, so it's going to go all the way back out of the offensive zone and back into the Pens D zone. I believe to the left of Dragosic. Yes, that's where we're headed. All right, on the ice right now, number 8, Connor Wilson takes the straw. He's going to snap this back to Welch. Welch is going to throw this off the wall to Mason Fritchie. Yoakum falls down. 3-on-1 develops. Connor Wilson comes down the left side. Centering pass attempt to Mason Fritchie. Mason Fritchie cashes in. As the Pens are able to take that faceoff win in the D zone, transitions to offense, and Mason Fritchie makes it a 1-0 game with 5:47 to go in the first period. Clean face-off win there for the Pens. Makes it a 1-0 game. Mason Fritchie's the man on the scoreboard here. 1-0. 5:44 now to go in the first period. Welch is now going to find Brooksy Gaworski. Out of his reach, though. As 93 is going to try Welch. Welch is going to try and run into him. He's going to body into him. He ties him up. As Yoakum is going to dump this deep here. Connor Wilson calls his D-men off this puck. Gets to this. Grant Loy gets his head up. Finds Brooksy Gaworski. He's got Fritchie ahead of the play. Can't get through, though, as the Flyers are coming in 3-on-2 now. As long shot. Glove saved there by Dragosic. Now moves it wide of the net to Loya. Loya is able to move it to Fritchie. Stick down all the way into the Flyer zone. Icing is waved off here. 74 now. Picks up the mail. Run into by Gaworski. Correction, 93. That's Ferguson. He walks out. Riker Ferguson creates offense all by himself. Riker Ferguson tucks it home for a 2-0 Pens Elite lead. Riker Ferguson was able to walk off the wall there calmly and with patience. Walked right in on the netminder, 29, and finds the back of the net. So the shots, I think, are reversed right now. It's showing 5-3 Little Flyers. I think we might be 5-5 right now. Nenavisa seals off Brawl on the wall. Good contact there by CJ. As 43 now has it behind the net. Good to see him fully recovered there from that injury. As Nenavisa is going to move it up to Bingham Green. Gets caught in the skates of 77. Connor Wilson now on defensively in the center position, along with Bingham Green and Brady Fritchie tying their men up. As it is Wilson that comes out of the fray with the puck. Loses it in a couple of sticks here from the Little Flyers. Brady Fritchie, head up, skates forward. Tries to dance around a couple of guys. Pens are changing their D. That's Welch, and it's Colt Davis that are covering back. 13 was in all by himself, surrounded by white jerseys, so he just dumps it out of the zone as Yoakum is run into by Wilson. As Welch is going to go back for this puck. Dragosic helps him out by moving it to the corner. He's going to swing this over to Colt Davis. Welch now collects this. He's going to go behind the net to Stark. Good movement of the puck there by Stark up to Paris. Paris was trying to find Davis. Davis is behind a defender. He's got a step. He's hauled down. No call there, as going to be rolled incidental contact. As Little Flyers going to try. Loya, 27, falls down though. As Riker Ferguson, he gets behind his man. He's looking for another one. Riker Ferguson to Easton Borman. And 74 goes to the bank and makes a deposit into the back of the net. Easton Borman from Riker Ferguson makes it 3-0. So just keeping track of shots here, I believe it's now 6-5 Pens Elite. 2:33 on the clock. 3-0 is the score. I know we may be showing the scoreboard here from a different game, but it's 3-0 Pens Elite over the Philadelphia Little Flyers. 2:24 now to go as that's gloved down by Dragosic. Call shots here, and even 6-6. But 3-0 shows on the scoreboard. As faceoff's going to be won by the Flyers, but jumping on that is Brooksy Gaworski just ahead of the play as he holds his head here. Mason Fritchie, as he had an opportunity, there was a seam. As the wingers here are communicating with each other before the faceoff. That's Fritchie and Gaworski, centered by Wilson on the backside, Nenavisa and Grant Loya. Nenavisa is going to step into this puck now. CJ enters the zone. He's going to dump it deep. Connor Wilson goes back to retrieve this puck now as it's possessed by the Philadelphia defenders. Swings it on the near wall. Pinching down is Loya. Keeps it in nicely. Wilson into the slot. Mason Fritchie. Mason Fritchie gets his second goal of the game off of a feed from number 8, Connor Wilson. And just like that, it's a 4-0 game with 1:51 to go in the first period. Pens get their fourth goal on 7 shots. As Connor Wilson now steps in for this faceoff. As 27, Yoakum's going to join the rush. Now goes back to the blue line. And Connor Wilson's going to dance out of the zone, but has his pocket picked by 86. Yoakum now gets this puck, goes into the slot. Shot taken. Not a lot on that as it goes wide of the net. Penn's now going to exit the zone. Brady Fritchie's got Mason, his brother. 2 goals in the first period from number 4. He's going to dump it up to Brady Fritchie, now leading the rush. Brady Fritchie shoots it off the mask. Following on Skaworski. Still loose. Fergie takes a shot at it. Goes all the way through to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie centering pass attempt. He's got right in front was Riker Ferguson. Can't handle that puck. Stark's run into him, man. It's not Stark that goes down, though. Pens change their D up behind the play as they're able to keep this attack on. Bingham Green now. He comes down the left side. He loses that puck. Welch now has it. He's going to chip it forward, but ahead of the play still was Bingham Green. So we're under a minute to play here, 45.6 to go. 4-0 on the scoreboard. Pens over the little Flyers out of Philadelphia. Blake Paris now walks in. Long shot taken right into the glove of netminder number 29. Swallows that up for a whistle. As Fergie steps in, he wins the straw to Paris. Paris delays. Blake Paris walks in, long shot. Strong shot there from the Pens winger. Right in the midsection of 29. As we'll do it again. This time it's Bingham Green that gets to this puck. Along the wall now is Fergie working for this with Bingham Green. It's going to be Ferguson that gets to this puck. He's going to walk off the wall. He's still being harassed here. Bingham Green has it. He's got a lot of room here. As centering pass attempt goes from Ferguson, goes all the way through to the point man, Grant Loya. Getting to this puck now is Ferguson, but that's going to be it at the end of one. The score, Pittsburgh Penguins Elite 4 and the Philadelphia Little Flyers 0. All right, play back underway here at second period action. 14:55 on the clock. Assuming the Flyers here that initiate as the shot's taken over the net. Behind Dragosic, it's Brady Fritchie now that works for this puck. As Ryan Yoakum is able to get to the center of the ice. Shot off the glove hand of Max Dragosic. Brought back to center now by centerman Connor Wilson. He's going to easily dance around 74. He's in all by himself. No weak side help there. Came over to defend Wilson. He gets a quality shot off there on 29. And it is Connor Wilson again with this puck. As he finds Brady Fritchie now from the deep position. Long shot off the stick at 27. And tucked home by Easton Borman with his second of the game. Off the Fritchie shot. Went off the stick of Davis. Finds the stick of Easton Borman. Makes it 5-0. Just 45 seconds into the second period. As Wilson was able to enter the zone there to create that puck possession time. And I think 4 out of the 5 players on the ice touched the puck on that sequence. As it's Brooks Gaworski in looking for more. He's going to stop up. He's going to walk off the wall. Shot taken. Goes into the equipment. It's still loose. Gaworski was diving for it. It's going to be called dead here with 13:57 to go in the second period. Pens now showing on the scoreboard 9-8. We'll go with that. In terms of shots, more importantly, 5 to the big goose egg on the other side. 5-0 right now. Gaworski's going to walk off with that face-off win. Goes to Stark. Point shot. Deflects in on net off of Mason Fritchie's stick. Still loose. As 98 tries to swing it up to the faceoff dot. It's Brooks Gaworski that comes out of there with the puck. Tucks it into Ferguson. Gets one shot, 2 shots. Fritchie now has it. Fritchie's looking for an option. He's going to get a Welch. Welch takes this. Long shot off the end wall to Fergie. 77's content to swing this off the wall, as 12's going to send this all the way down the ice. Not sure if this has the juice for icing, and it does. So the Pens have just taken over the last, I would say, 7 minutes of this game. And are feeling it right now. All right, in on net now is Connor Wilson. Now sporting a corrected jersey is CJ Nenavisa, as he was showing a little error on his jersey for the first time in white. It's all rectified here, and the Pens are looking for more as Bingham Green has it behind the net. Connor Wilson now has it. He delays, moves it behind the net, cycles it back to Green. Green goes to the point man. That's Nenavisa. Nenavisa goes right back to Green. They play catch. Green leaves it for Wilson now. Wilson chips it off the wall to Nenavisa. A lot of zone time here, as the little Flyers just look gassed right now early on in the second period. As Yoakum's up ahead of the play from his deep spot, and he's going to pick up that. He works around Grant Loya, and it's going to be Ryan Yoakum that puts it in to make this a 5-1 game with 12:13 to go. Pens were pushing and pushing and pushing. And just like that, the little Flyers get one of their own behind goaltender number 29, Max Dragicic. So we'll reset here. The score is 5-1, 12-13 in the second period, as Nico Stark moves this up to, tries to move it ahead further. Unable to do so, as collecting this mail is number 11. That's Colt Davis. He's going to put it off the wall to himself. Tries to work it around another man. Does get it to the Borman. Borman in on the attack now. Calling for this puck is Fergie. Deflection attempt as Ferguson's pulled down. Going to the net. May have lost an edge as well. Ferguson gets right back up. It's Borman now that gets to this puck. Surveys the scene. He has Davis in the slot. Tried to go to him to flex off of a couple skates. Another pass attempt to flex off some skates. Flyers maybe were getting a little bit of momentum there from that goal, as it deflects up to the neutral zone, as the little Flyers back in on the attack, trying to work it around a couple of Pens. Shut down there by Colt Davis. Try to go off the wall as 56 seals him off for the little Flyers. Stark comes over to play his man. He's assisted by number 93, Riker Ferguson. Ferguson's able to headman this up to Borman. Borman moves it along to Colt Davis, as we got a whistle here for a neutral zone face-off. Offsides. As the Pens change up their personnel grouping, Connor Wilson on to take this draw, flanked by Gaworski and Mason Fritchie. And then we got Welch and Loya. Wilson dances around one guy as it's dumped in deep by the little Flyers. Loya's going to come over to get to this puck. Leaves it for Welch now. Welch gets his head up, finds Mason Fritchie. Unable to handle that, though. As Welch now skirts it back up in the neutral zone again, as 27 is going to throw this deep. 12 comes over to play this puck, but it's stripped nicely by Connor Wilson. Wilson tries to get this. Puck's going to be red. Play's going to be red there by 27. No further, though. Ahead of the play is Mason Fritchie. He's in all by himself. Mason Fritchie on a delayed penalty call gets the HT. His third goal of the game by number 4, Mason Fritchie. And we're not even at the halfway point of the second period. And that's number 3 for number 4. And it's a 6-1 game here, 10-16 to go. So the Pens get that goal right back. Mason Fritchie moves it over to Gaworski now. Gaworski tries to hit Nenevisa just off target slightly as CJ goes back to collect this, number 77. He's run into, swings it up to Fergie. It's in the skates of an official, though. As in on the attack now are the Little Flyers. Back check nicely by Ferguson. Ferguson tries, 77 dances around him. Ferguson in all by himself, shot off the cage of netminder 29. 15-8 the shot total, 9:39 to go in the second period, 6-1 the score. As Stark brings it right back into the offensive zone, though. But just ahead of the play was a PPE player, so another neutral zone faceoff. 9:33 to go on the clock. Second period action. 15-8 shot totals. It's forward grouping of Wilson, Green, and Paris. On the backside, Welch and Stark. 74 is going to back in this into the neutral zone where Blake Paris chips it right back into the offensive zone. Wilson works it around one man at the point. It's going to be held now in the neutral zone by Welch. Welch swings it to Stark. Stark dumps it in the Pens offensive zone, collected by Yoakum. Stark gets his puck again. Backhands it. Tries to sneak it through. A couple of bodies picked off there by 86. 86 is going to try Stark now. He walks in. Off the equipment of Welch now. Set back to the point man. 74 now swings this wide. Stark over to collect this puck. As Connor Wilson tries to get it out of the zone. Unable to do so, but it comes wide to Blake Paris now. He loses the handle. 5 moves it. 2-on-1 develops. Swallow it up. Welch now lets Dragosic handle this. Covers it up. So 8:39 to go in the second period. D-zone draw coming up. To the left of netminder, number 29, Max Dragosic. Riker Ferguson, 93 on to take this draw. As Borman comes over to get to this puck along with Nenevisa. Got 3 Pens battling there for it. It's Nenevisa that walks out of the fray with the biscuit. Tries to move to Loya. A little too hot to handle, though. As it's headmanned up to Easton Borman. Borman goes right through the skates of 77. He's now harassed by 93. Following on is Ferguson. Tried to hit Davis in the high slot. As Easton Borman picks up the puck here. He delays. He goes, communicates with Ferguson. Borman still has it top of the circle. Off the skates of 77. Davis goes for a dive there over 98. A lot of bodies hitting the ice here as 12 dances around Loya. Loya recovers there as he dances around 77. Tries a pass there to an open Easton Borman. Hits off of a skate, though. As the Little Flyers transition back to offense. As CJ is able to keep his man to the outside. That's 98. And CJ moves it up ahead to Easton Borman. He's just going to dump it in and go for a change. All 5 players to get some fresh bodies on the ice. As Brooks Jaworski walks out of the fray, he's got 2 guys going to the net. Gets the one of them behind the net. That's Connor Wilson. Wilson tries a backhand pass attempt. It's going to be gloved down in front of netminder number 29 with exactly 7 minutes to go in the second period as they have halfway point of game number 2 of a 3-game series between the visiting Philadelphia Little Flyers and your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. Pens have 1 more to play tomorrow against the Little Flyers before we go on the road for the first time this year to take on the Buffalo Junior Sabres next Saturday for a 2-game trip. As you are setting your calendar there with PP action there for the rest of September. But the Pens looking for more here from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex as in the neutral zone. Puck's going to be bouncing around as 74. The defenseman comes out. He leads the rush now. Shot taken wide of the net. Almost a clearing pass as the Pens are able to work it back out of the zone. Fritchie's interfered with there momentarily by Flyers defender, and the Flyers are going to enter in the offensive zone as Stark now goes to play this puck on the wall. He's able to chip it up ahead, but Yoakum reads that play. Shot taken off the shin guard of a hobbling Connor Wilson now. As it's head-manned up to Mason Fritchie. He's going to try Yoakum. Takes a shoulder to the face there. As Yoakum is content to take that puck and ice it all the way down the ice. So Pens offensive zone faceoff coming up to the right of netminder number 29. 5:45 now on the clock. 16-9 the shot total. 6-1 is the score. Fergie is on with Paris, Green, Welch, and Loya. Fergie goes forward with it. It's bumped into now by a couple of Flyers as it's Ferguson behind the net. Ferguson's going to get to this puck. Dancing behind the net. Still dancing. It's defended by 98, Bingham Green. Over to help out 77. That's going to try and walk out with this puck. He backhands it high off the wall. As a big stop there by goaltender Dragosic. As Blake Parrish is going to try and transition this to the offense. Was looking for Bingham Green. As the Pens enter in offsides. And the Pens are going to change up their D grouping here, sticking with the same forwards, Fergie, Green, and Paris. As it's Bingham Green that has this puck. 4:50 now to go in the second period. Bingham Green goes to retrieve it here on the far wall. Out behind the goal line. Chips it behind the net now. On to get to this puck is Connor Wilson. Pens looking pretty fresh here in the second period as Easton Borman. He's got a jump in his step right now. 74 works through everybody. Tries to snap it over the blocker. Goes over the net, though. Following on now is Bingham Green. Brady Fritchie works it behind the net to Connor Wilson. And it's number 13 right now that exits the zone. Centering pass to 88. As Yoakum now backhands it no further, though, but it finds the stick at 86. He's bumped into by Wilson. And Connor Wilson comes out of there. He's coming in 2-on-4 right now. He's got Colt Davis going with him. Sticked off of his blade, though, by Yoakum. Borman able to get to that puck. As out of the zone come the Flyers, 4-on-2. Goes to 43, leaves it for 27. Yoakum. He gets his pocket picked nicely by Colt Davis. As this transitions the offense here as Easton Borman. He's going to try and collect this puck. He's hauled down by Yoakum. Yoakum throws a body check into Nico Stark now. Stark wins that battle, gets to that puck, dumps it in below the goal line. Where Ferguson now takes a body check from Yoakum. As it's going to come out of the zone now. Welch is in a foot race here with 43. Welch is going to win that foot race. Chips it up to Riker Ferguson. Ferguson bumps into Colt Davis, though. It's 13 now. Exits the zone. He's going to dump it in as the little Flyers go for a change. 98's coming in on Welch. Welch is going to use his skating. Reverses back to Nico Stark. Stark up to Gaworski. Pens transition this right to offense here as Mason Fritchie collects it. He's looking for his number 4. Delays. Goes to Gaworski. Gaworski shot off the outside of the net. It's going to be covered up by netminder number 29. As we approach the late stages here of the second period. 6-1 remains the score. 2:31 now on the game clock. Shot total showing 18-10 here on the UPMC Lemieux scoreboard. Wilson to take this draw. He's got Gaworski, Fritchie, Loya, and Netavisa. It's going to be one back to Fritchie. Doesn't get a shot through here. 77 now has it. Loya's going to skirt behind. Brooks Gaworski now has it. He's pressured by 98. Takes a stick off the wrist. He falls down. Gaworski sticks with it. Throws it back to Loya. Loya snaps it off the skates of number 5. It goes into the Penguin bench as it's retrieved by Penguins assistant coach Ian Ferguson. And offensive zone. Face off to the left now of netminder number 29. Stepping in for this is Brohl for the Little Flyers, 98. And our own number 8, Connor Wilson. It's collected now by Yoakum. He's going to try and work this around Gaworski. Yoakum goes down there. Gaworski's stick was in the vicinity. And Brooks Gaworski is going to sit down here for a tripping call, as the Pens are going to be put on the PK for the second time in today's game. As Bingham Green able to collect this faceoff win, goes around Yoakum. This goes behind the net where Blake Parrish picks it up. It's thrown into the wall by Yoakum. Blake Parrish is now takes a slew foot behind the play as he labors back to get to the bench. As the Little Flyers try to transition this to offense, ahead of the play now is Blake Parrish. Is able to collect it. As he takes a nice shoulder there, nothing called. If you can't beat him, hit him, I guess, is the name of the game here, as Yoakum now takes a swing at Bingham Green. All right, continuing to play here underway. 1:07 to go in the second period. Yoakum falls down. It's going to transition now to some offense from Bingham Green. He's got Borman ahead of the play. He's going to dump it deep as the Pens content to kill off some more time off this penalty. Collecting the puck is Easton Borman behind the net. Pair 74 is now battling. Borman's going to get to this puck first. Throws it behind the net. Off an official. It's Cole Davis. Cole Davis is streaking with some speed. Tries a backhand attempt. Goes through everybody. As 43. He's going to try Welch. Welch is going to seal him off on the wall. He goes back to get to this puck. He's going to backhand it through everybody, and it's Noah Welch now. He's got Brooks Gaworski ahead of the play. Welch is going to hang on to this. He's going to dance around 56. Welch is power move to the net. Just wide of the net. Oh. As Colt Davis just took a dirty hit from 56. As it two-hand right to the back of the numbers in the head of Colt Davis. So the Pens, in a very physical second period at the end of this, are going to be on the power play. As it's going to come back to the point man. Nope, it's going to be Easton Borman. Leaves it for Welch. Welch is going to walk into the slot. Walks in. Shot taken, glove down by 29. No rebound. 6.6 now to go in the second period. 1:21 to go on the boarding, cross-check, whatever you want to call it. But that's going to be it, I think, for the second period. As the puck's now going to be dumped back to Welch. That's going to do it for the second. 19-10, the shot totals. But more importantly, up to a 5-0 lead before Flyers get their first of the game. Mason Fritchie with 3 so far today. Steps in for this draw, wins it back to number 9, Brady Fritchie. Can be dumped into the Pens offensive zone. 98 tries to exit the zone. He does. He gets it over the stick of Fritchie. Fritchie collects, moves it to Nenavisa. Nenavisa dumps it in deep. We're at 27. Yoakum goes back to collect the puck. Looking for Easton Borman on the bench. I think he maybe has a skate issue, or maybe he's going to get a drink of water. As we'll keep an eye on that as we look for the big 74 to return to the Penguin bench area. But back into the neutral zone is number 9, Brady Fritchie. He's going to work it around 98 Brohl. Head of steam here from Brady Fritchie. He has his skates taken out by 13. As comes back to the point. Covering back was Brooks Jaworski. Fanned on it, but he gets all the way through. Couple sticks up in the midsection as Nenavisa is going to reverse it on the wall. Covering the point was Wilson. But 13's able to dance around him. Nothing of it, though, as Brady Fritchie collects the puck. 13:46 now to go in the third period. Mason Fritchie tries to move it ahead as there's a logjam in front of the Little Flyers bench. It's Connor Wilson in there battling. Nico Stark's going to move it up to Wilson just over his stick. Penn's going to go for a change, and Bingham Green is going to get in on the forecheck now. As we're back into the neutral zone. No, Blake Paris able to hold it in. Nice play there by number 25. Moves it ahead to Bingham Green. Bingham Green works it behind the net. Goes to the point man. Nico Stark, shot taken. Deflects down to the stick of Paris. He fans on the attempt. .39's going to try and work it wide. Sticked away by Welch. Welch is going to work it off the wall now. Where Yoakum runs into Ferguson. Off the backside of Stark. Still loose. Welch is going to try and get to this puck. He's going to play Yoakum now. Yoakum's put on his seat as he's holding on to the stick of Ferguson now. As Nico Stark moves it to Welch. Welch is going to try and get this up to Blake Paris, and does. Connor Wilson works it back through center. He's going to walk around a couple of guys. Still possesses the puck. Connor Wilson delays. Wilson has it. Backhands it over. Can't get to that puck, though, as Wilson's going to move it back to the neutral zone to CJ Nenavisa. Nenavisa to his D partner, right-handed Grant Loya. Loya back to Wilson. Back in on the attack now. 11:34 to go in the third period. Got a collision here between Wilson and Loya. 2-on-0. 43 walks in. Shut down by Dragicic. Good save there by number 29. Hasn't faced a lot of action lately. Had to be alert there. As the score remains 6-1 for your PPE. Boys as they look to close out the third period here. 11 minutes now on the clock. 21-11 now. The shot totals up on the big scoreboard here at the FedEx rink at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. Nico Stark backhands it over to Easton Borman. Borman now has it. Centering pass attempt goes through everybody. Hustling over to this puck is Brady Fritchie. Throws it behind the net now. On to collect Easton Borman. It's now Colt Davis. Moves it to Borman. Borman still has it. He works it behind the net now. Finds Brady Fritchie. Fritchie tries to get a shot through. Deflects off a couple of sticks. Finds a stick at Colt Davis. Backhands it behind the net. Saved there by 29. As Colt Davis looks to get to this puck, it's going to be Ferguson that dances around. Puck loose in the crease now. Goes to Brady Fritchie at the point. Dumps it deep. His brother Mason now joins the fray as Colt Davis runs into a man behind the goal line. Arm goes up with the official here. Delayed penalty call coming up, as it's going to be Colt Davis that sits down here for a body contact checking penalty. So the Pens have PK number 3 coming up, as a minute 30 penalty goes up on the board to number 11, Colt Davis. And taking this draw here for the Pens Elite boys, it's going to be Mason Fritchie. He's going to be on with Brooks Gaworski, Welch, and Lawyer on as well. As it's collected here by Yoakum, as he's confronted by Mason Fritchie. Moves it over to 93. It's going to be off the pad of Welch. Collected there. Big save. Rebound put in. But 93. Dragosic was down and out. And it's put in the back of the net to make it 6-2. Penalties cleared off the board now. So the third penalty of the game proves to be costly, as Yoakum is going to try and chip it around everybody. It's going to come to Dragosic. Welch is on to confront Loya. Reverse hit. It's Yoakum that goes down. As it's now chipped, Welch is going to play this, collects it, moves it back to neutral. As offsides is the call, neutral zone face-off. Connor Wilson steps in for this. He's going to win it back to Paris. Paris unable to move it further along here as 39 enters the zone. Some pushback here from the Little Flyers. Game could have got out of hand earlier, so props to them for fighting back to make it a 6-2 game. 9:06 now to go in the third period. Bingham Green collects his headman pass from Brady Fritchie. Enters the zone. He had Connor Wilson winding up in the one-timer. Doesn't get through here. As 56 is now going to try Nenavisa. Nenavisa able to separate him with Bingham Green. Bingham Green now has it behind the net. It's going to go to Nenavisa. Nenavisa gets his head up, looks for an option. It's going to be Blake Ferris. Hits that out of midair. Nice play there by Blake to get it out of the zone. 56 collects, moves it back. Little Flyers regroup, picked off there by Brady Fritchie. Takes a shoulder now as 77 slammed Brady Fritchie. So it might be something about Pens Flyers. Lots of activity in the box here today in game number 2. Between the orange and black and the black and gold. As the turkey's on the table again, 77 for the Little Flyers goes into the box. So hopefully Brady's all right here as he goes to the bench. As the PP unit is going to be centered there by Ferguson. Ferguson gets his own face-off. As he moves it to Borman. Borman now drops it down below. Also in on this is Colt Davis. Comes back to the point man. That's Nico Stark. Long shot. Doesn't get through, though. Pocket picked by Easton Borman. 274s again battling. It's going to squirt free off the stick of Stark. It's Welch that collects it. He's facing some pressure of Yoakum. Gets his stick lifted again. It's Welch now takes a stick from Yoakum. As Ferguson is going to dump it below the net now to Welch. Welch needs to move it. And does so. Finds Borman. As pass is going to be picked off by Yoakum. He falls down, though. As the Pens have it now at the top of the dots. Where Wilson Goes to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie over to Loya. 15 to go in the power play. Loya dances around one guy. Still has it. Backhands through everybody. Finds Connor Wilson. Wilson back to Fritchie. 7 to go on the penalty. Fritchie to Wilson. Off of his stick. To Mason Fritchie. He now dances around. Off the bench here is Brooks Gawarsi. He collects. Fans on the attempt. Back to 5-on-5 action. Penn's going to be careful here as 43 comes off the bench. It's going to be Grant Lloyd that collects it. Throws it back to Brady Fritchie. As Connor Wilson walks in, tries to dance around a man. Loses control of the puck. Back to the neutral zone. CJ Nenavisa picks it up. It's going to be Connor Wilson that has a head man pass attempt to Mason Fritchie. Mason Fritchie walks down the right-hand wall, leaves it for Gawarski. Shot, left pad save there by 29. 6:14 now to go in the third period. 6-2 the score. Number 13 here collects it for the Little Flyers. It's going to be thrown across to 56. Thrown over a couple of sticks here, collected by 77. As 13 now walks in on the attack. Tries Nenavisa. It's Connor Wilson. Moves it to Gawarski. Gawarski's coming out 2-on-1. He's got Mason Fritchie with him. Delays. Delayed a little bit too much, though, as creates an offsides play here with 5:42 to go in the third period. So neutral zone faceoff coming up here from Cranberry. As Ferguson, 93, Riker Ferguson steps in between Blake Paris and Bingham Green. It's going to be Blake Paris that moves it to Bingham Green. Back to Paris. Paris dumps it off the wall deep. Going to work is number 93, Riker Ferguson, trying to collect this from Yoakum. Yoakum's going to pick up a head of steam. As Welch is now going to try his luck against Yoakum. He's going to try and force him wide as Yoakum fell down forward. As Noah maybe had some bad breath there. All right, so coming out of the zone here are the Flyers. Headman pass from 13. Welch gets over on his man. As the Pens are going to transition this to offense. As not a lot of action here in the third period. 6-2 is the score. Connor Wilson now collects. Wilson's going to move this up ahead to Borman. Borman tries to go back to Wilson. Nothing connecting here for the Pens here in the third. As they're going to try it again. Connor Wilson now walks around the guy. Dances around 27. 73 now has it. Borman. Correction, 74. Moves it to Stark. Stark's walking down Wall Street. Shot taken, left pad save. Collected by 74 behind the net. He's run into by Wilson and Davis. Wilson tries a wrap move, unable to tuck it home. Now collected by Colt Davis at the circle. Colt Davis follows along. Another shot. Swallowed up by netminder number 29. Offensive zone faceoff coming up. 3:58 to go in the third. Shot totals now on that board reflect 26-12 in favor of the boys in black and gold. Puck's going to be sent back into the Pens D zone where Loya cancels out number 12. Leaves it for his D partner, Nenavisa. Nenavisa goes behind Dragosic, the Penguin netminder, to collect this puck. He's pinned to the wall by 12. On to pick this up is number 93. That's Riker Ferguson. Goes up. Headman pass attempt for number 45, Brooks Gawarski. As in the neutral zone now, got a battle here between 12 and a couple of Penguins. As Mason Fritchie hustles over to get to this puck. As we approach the 3-minute mark, 3:05 now on the clock to be exact. Nenavisa over to Loya. Loya moves it up to Mason Fritchie, unable to get it over to Gaworski, though. As Gaworski dances around. His man gets it to Wilson. Wilson to Fritchie, almost taps it home. As a headman pass attempt's going to come to 12. He's going to try and work around Welch. Welch wins that battle. Welch is going to try and move this up to Fritchie, but it's going to go all the way down the ice. Let's go. And we're going to do this to the left of netminder number 29, Dragosic. 2:36 now to go on the clock. I think Welch was trying to hit Fritchie. He was going for a change. Wilson's going to win this now back to Stark. Clean win. Stark goes off the wall to 5, or off the stick of 5. 74 is now stepping into this. Shot taken over the bar. Connor Wilson goes to get to this puck. Leaves it for Blake Paris, collecting a feed from Bingham Green. Paris gets to this puck. Deflected off the bar, I think. Bingham Green gets to this puck. Goaltender's down and out. Wilson tries to get to this puck. It's going to be Welch that comes over. He fans on the attempt. It's going to be chipped around. As back in the neutral zone is Nico Stark. Long shot taken. As Paris has his legs taken out. And the Little Flyers back on the attack. 86 is going to try and work it around. Nenavisa. 86 throws it up the wall. 74. 74 has it at the point. Goes to the 27, the point man. Shot wide of the net. Nenavisa. Exit the zone with the puck. Looking for an option. He's going to dump it down into the zone. Pens make a change. 1:19 now to go in the third period. As 93 takes a cross check. That's Riker Ferguson. Two-hander to the back as number 9, Brady Fritchie, gets to this puck. Centering pass. He's got Colt Davis. Nice little feed there. Colt Davis unable to get a shot there. As a couple bodies collide as we are at 54 seconds to go on the clock. 13's down on the ice. So we'll pause here. We've got less than a minute to go from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. Ferguson, Borman, Davis, Welch, and Loya are the 5 for your 2015 PPE boys. 56. Now going to work this wide. Colt Davis tries to collect. It's going to be sent into the zone here. A couple bodies colliding on the wall. Davis is one of them. That's 43. And Davis go in at it. Loya's looking for an option. Squirts out in front of the net. 43 tries to collect this. 98 now has it. Loya now gets over to this puck. 25 to go. Easton Borman backhands it to space to Davis. Davis tries to hop over a stick. Welch now has this 13 to go on the clock. Welch is going to just leave this into space. Goes to Welch. Welch is just going to move it, centering pass attempt to Ferguson. That's going to be it. So the Pens going to walk out of here with their second victory of the day over the boys from the East Coast as your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite take the W over the Philadelphia Little Flyers by a final score of 6-2. So thank you for tuning in to City TV, Pens Elite TV. We got one more contest scheduled for tomorrow at 11:45 in the morning for game number 3 between the Little Flyers and your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.